Jay-Z thought he could outrun the past. But is the truth finally catching up to him? For over a decade, whispers have circled around the rap mogul, but now those whispers have turned into shouts. Meet Ramir Sattherwaite, a young man who has spent most of his life fighting for one thing: the truth. Not fame, not fortune, not a payout, just the answer to one question: who is my father? And Ramir believes that father is none other than Jay-Z. This isn't just some tabloid headline. Ramir's journey has been long, painful, and messy. He's been called a liar, an opportunist, and worse. But through it all, he's stayed consistent. I just want to know who I am. For years, Jay-Z and his legal team have dodged, delayed, and denied. Lawsuits dismissed, DNA tests avoided, and public silence. But something's changed, and it's not just the pressure from social media or the tabloids. Recently, the New Jersey Supreme Court ordered Jay-Z to take a DNA test, something Ramir has been asking for since 2010. And let's be honest, if you were Jay-Z, one of the most powerful men in music, wouldn't you want to clear your name once and for all? So why hasn't he? This story is no longer just about paternity. It's about power, legacy, and what happens when the past refuses to stay buried. So, what do you think? Is Jay-Z finally facing a truth he's been running from for decades, or is Ramir just another voice lost in the noise? Stay tuned, because we're diving deep into the drama that could shake the Carter empire to its core. Ramir Sattherwaite grew up with questions he couldn't shake. Born in 1993, he always thought Robert Graves, his mother's high school sweetheart, was his father. His birth certificate said so, his family said so, but when he was a teenager, everything changed. His mother, Wanda, sat him down and told him the truth. When she was 16, she had a brief relationship with Jay-Z, then a 22-year-old rising rapper. She later reconciled with Robert, but by then she was already pregnant, and she'd put Robert's name on the birth certificate to protect herself and her child. For Ramir, it was an emotional earthquake. At first, I couldn't believe it, he said in interviews. But when I saw the look in my mum's eyes, I knew she was telling the truth. He did what anyone in his place might do, got a DNA test with Robert Graves. The result came back clear. Robert was not his father. That left only one name. But here's the twist. Jay-Z never responded. Ramir wasn't looking for money. He wasn't chasing fame. I just wanted to know who I am, he says. But every attempt to reach Jay-Z was met with silence. No acknowledgement, no conversation, no effort. By 2010, Ramir decided he couldn't live in the dark anymore. He filed a paternity suit in Pennsylvania, but his age worked against him. The court said he was too old to pursue paternity claims under local law. Instead of quitting, Ramir shifted his fight to New Jersey, where his mother claimed Jay-Z had business ties. What started as a son's quiet search for truth was about to turn into a public, high-stakes legal battle, one that no one, not even Jay-Z, could completely control. When Ramir's legal team took the case to New Jersey, they knew they were going up against a giant. Jay-Z wasn't just a celebrity, he was a global brand with a powerful legal army. And that army was ready for war. The first defense was simple but brutal. Jay-Z's lawyers claimed he had no personal or professional ties to New Jersey, so the court there had no right to demand a DNA test. Even when Ramir's side presented tax documents showing a Sean Carter linked to the state, Jay-Z's team fired back. That's not proof it's our Sean Carter. It was a technicality, but it worked, again and again. While these legal maneuvers played out in public, something darker unfolded behind the scenes. One day, as Ramir was leaving for work, he noticed something strange, a gun sitting inside his car, Panicked, he called his friend, asking if they had left it there. But before he could figure out what was going on, police swarmed the scene, blocked his car, and prepared to arrest him. Ramir insisted it wasn't his weapon, and thankfully, surveillance footage later showed an unknown person planting the gun and fleeing. But the message was clear: this fight was getting dangerous. Despite the intimidation, Ramir stayed focused on his mission. "I'm not here for money, I just want the truth," he repeated in interviews. But as the years dragged on, public opinion began to shift. People who once dismissed him as a clout chaser started asking hard questions. If Jay-Z really has nothing to hide, why not just take the test? The longer Jay-Z avoided the paternity test, the more the whispers grew into headlines. This wasn't just a private matter anymore, it was becoming a public reckoning, and for Jay-Z, no amount of fame or money could fully silence the rising tide of suspicion. For Ramir, this battle was never just about a court case, it was about identity, belonging, and healing old wounds. Growing up, he carried questions that weighed on him every day. Who am I? Why won't he acknowledge me? In interviews, Ramir has been remarkably open about the emotional toll this journey has taken. "I'm not trying to make Jay-Z look bad," he said. "I'm not here to ruin anyone's life. I just want the truth. If it's not true, I can handle that. But the silence, that's what hurts the most." He's faced more than just legal brick walls. He's dealt with public shaming, online hate, and even personal danger. Friends and strangers alike have accused him of chasing clout, wanting a payout, or trying to tear down a black success story. But through it all, Ramir has insisted he's not after fame or fortune. "People think I want money, but I work. I have my own income. I take care of my kids. I drive a nice car. This was never about that," he explained. What stands out is his resilience. Even when the legal system dismissed him, even when Jay-Z's team ignored him, even when he felt like a rag doll tossed around by forces bigger than himself, Ramir kept pushing. "I'm a man. If I'm wrong, I can apologize. But I'm standing on what I believe is true. I just want fair due process. If we can't even get that, what's the point of all this?" Ramir also spoke about the emotional isolation he's felt. "You know how it feels when people look at you like you're crazy? Like you're making something up? I've had family turn away, friends stop calling, just because I kept speaking up," he shared. But instead of breaking him, the rejection hardened his resolve. "At the end of the day, I have to live with myself, and I can't live with myself if I just walk away." For over a decade, Ramir has been locked in a battle that most people would have walked away from long ago. But he's still here, not for a headline, not for a check, but for the truth. And as the court finally orders a DNA test, it seems that truth may finally be within reach. While Ramir fought his personal battle, the ripples reached far beyond him, all the way into the Carter household. Jay-Z's marriage to Beyoncé has always been a symbol of power, success, and perfection. But behind closed doors, the mounting paternity drama threatened to shatter that image. Matthew Knowles, Beyoncé's father and former manager, reportedly voiced growing frustration. For years, he watched as Beyoncé was dragged into scandals that weren't hers. Jay-Z's alleged infidelities, rumored connections to controversial figures like Diddy, and now a paternity case that just wouldn't die. This isn't just Jay-Z's mess anymore, insiders say. Every time his name trends for the wrong reasons, Beyoncé gets pulled into it, whether she likes it or not. For Beyoncé, who has carefully crafted a brand built on empowerment and control, the constant swirl of gossip is more than just tabloid noise. It's a threat to the empire she and Jay-Z built together. Endorsements, image, legacy, everything hangs in the balance when public trust wavers. Meanwhile, public opinion around Jay-Z has started to shift. While some fans still defend him, others are questioning his silence. Social media is filled with comments like, If you're innocent, just take the test. And why put this young man through so much if you have nothing to hide? Jay-Z's legal team has called the lawsuit part of a decades-long harassment campaign, denying claims of intimidation and saying they tried to communicate with Ramir's side but were met with hostility. But the court of public opinion is less forgiving, and as the DNA test order looms, even Jay-Z's defenders are starting to wonder what he's so afraid of. The Carters have spent years building an untouchable image. But this time, the cracks are showing, and the world is watching. So, now, we're here. After more than a decade of court battles, media headlines, and unanswered questions, Jay-Z has finally been ordered to take a DNA test. And the world is holding its breath. Think about it. If the results confirm what Ramir has been saying all along, this won't just be another celebrity scandal. It will be a massive shift in how we see Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and the entire Carter legacy. How will fans react knowing Jay-Z may have denied his firstborn son for over 30 years? How will this affect Beyoncé, who's worked so hard to keep her family and her brand spotless? But maybe the bigger question is this: why did it take so long? Why did Ramir have to fight for decades, through courts, through legal loopholes, through public humiliation, just to get a simple answer? And what does that say, not just about Jay-Z, but about power, privilege, and accountability in the world of celebrities? Let's be honest, a lot of people have looked at Ramir and dismissed him as a clout chaser, someone desperate for money or attention. But after hearing his story, seeing his determination, and watching him face years of intimidation, can we really say he's just after fame? Or is he someone who simply wants the truth? What do you think? Is Jay-Z hiding something? Or is this all just a giant misunderstanding blown up by the media? Do you believe Ramir deserves answers? And maybe even an apology? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're curious to hear what you think. And if you want to stay updated as this story unfolds, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Because trust us, there's going to be a lot more drama coming. See you in the next video, Betties!